Hello folks, and welcome to a new Hi-Fi News etc. video. I hope you're having a lovely time over this glorious weekend. Glorious because there's no work to do, hey. And I hope you're ready. I hope you're ready for a new trivia question. This time around we are changing the subject, thank goodness. It's moving from maths to literature, and the question this time around is: which band formed in New York in 1969 took their name from the title of a book published in 1925. That book, which D.H. Lawrence had described at the time as, quote, the best modern book about New York. One more time. Which band formed in New York in 1969 took their name from the title of a book published in 1925, which famous author D.H. Lawrence had described at the time as the, quote, best modern book about New York. This one may require a little bit of thought. Please though, no Googling, no research, none of that nonsense. It will only spoil things, and as I always say, this is just a bit of fun. Have a little think though. Hopefully you'll get there in the end. Let me know if you got this right. Not sure I would. Probably not, actually, to be truthful. However, once I found the answer, I thought, you know, it's one of those, you know, that kind of thing. But even then, I wasn't sure I knew the book. I knew the band, but the book, I thought, I kind of learned something off this particular question. So hopefully you will too. Anyway, Hi-Fi News. And we will start with the Swedish company Audio Pro, and they have a new range, and quite a lot in this particular range, of speakers called the W generation. Supported by a new control app that enhances the interface, adds EQ controls, expands streaming services, improves Wi-Fi performance, and a whole lot more. The hardware itself includes the Flagship A48 W, including an improved BMR, which obviously stands for Balanced Mode Radiator. On the other side of the coin, the compact A15 W now, says the company, offers deeper, fuller bass and extended battery life. There's obviously more to be said in terms of design and individual parts, and I will put lots of other speakers on screen so you can have a little gander. There's all kinds in this particular range, but for now, as I say, take a look at the images. I'm sure there'll be more information available soon. Speaking of speakers, we're going to move to monitor audio, and just a little bit different from their usual kind of listening room kind of stuff. We're talking about in-wall and on-ceiling speakers, also mount boxes, so you can install your own speakers if you wish. All of these components feature in what's called Monitor Audio's Creator series. Each Creator series in-wall large speaker, that's what they call them, incorporates something called Quick Link, which adds pre-cabling and termination before the speaker is fitted, plus Tri-Grip 2. These are so-called dog legs for a stronger fixing. All of these little additions apparently help to increase the ease of installation, ease of use, just ease, really. Just ease, generally speaking. A dedicated back box is available for each model, apparently. There are 3 speaker performance tiers available. You get either the W1L, that's a two-way arrangement featuring the company's C-Cam mid-bass drivers and a C-Cam tweeter. A bit further up the scale, the W2L is a 3-way arrangement featuring RST II mid-bass and bass drivers, and again a C-Cam tweeter, plus a rotational mid-pod, apparently. And top of the tree, the W3L, a three-way arrangement featuring RDT III bass drivers, C-cam mid driver, MPD II tweeters, and a rotational mid pod. The mount boxes, if you fancy a bit of DIY, are aimed at on-wall or on-ceiling fittings, and these are useful for spaces where in-ceiling and in-wall speakers are not normally feasible. So these boxes allow you to install on the ceiling and on the wall. And of course, doing it that way, you don't need to have major modifications to your walls or your ceilings. The in-wall speakers are out later this month, September 2025, and the mount boxes, well, you're looking at November 2025 to grab those. And as you might expect, there's all kinds of prices, and they're on screen now. Have a bit of a look. Pause the video if you like and have a detailed examination. Speaking of slightly different speakers, and we're going to Acoustic Energy now, and the AE307². Is that how you pronounce this? A 307², anyway, from Acoustic Energy. It is the final addition to its redesigned 300 series of loudspeakers. The 307² is a so-called LCR for AV use. LCR standing for left, center, right. It uses a new 300 series mid-bass unit based on paper and coconut husk. Not the first time I've heard about this coconut husk malarkey, but it's here in the speaker. Paired with a newly developed soft dome tweeter housed in a sealed box with a passive radiator. The 307² are finished in walnut, silk touch matte black or matte white. Price each is £429. If you need a stand for especially for the center section, prices for the stands are £49 each. If you want to know more about this particular story or any of the stories in this video, I will put links down below in the description. Next, we're looking at the Korean outfit HiFi Rose and the RS451. The news is it's out this month in September 2025, in case you're looking from the future. This network streamer features trickle-down technology from the company's flagship RS151 network streamer. The 451 includes separate DAC circuitry for the pre-out and headphone out options. Signal processing technology includes the Rose DPC module from the RD160, while the DAC chips of choice, and there are two of them in this one box, is the ESS ES9027 Pro. That supports 32-bit 768 kHz and DSD512, a low-noise Rose NRA filter taken from the 151 is also inside this box. You also get an upgraded CPU, again, from the 151. It's a bit of a magpie, this particular box, isn't it? Pinches bits from all over the place. Based on the Android 12 OS, including Bluetooth 5.4, on the front is an 8.8-inch touch screen. You also get an IR remote if you fancy one of those. Available in black or silver. Price is £2,699. From Korea all the way to Switzerland now, and the company Goldmund has launched a new integrated stereo amp called the Telos 670. Oh, this is a Class AB design, pushing out 250 watts into 8 ohms, spanning 440 millimeters by 160 by 395 millimeters, and weighing in at 24.5 kilograms, which is pretty weighty, I would say. Bend your knees, folks. Bend your knees. Available in grey or black, it features 5 pairs of single-ended RCA inputs. You get a coax, optical, and a USB port as well, as you can see by the images. The internal DAC can support up to 24-bit 384 and DSD128. Next to the substantial binding posts is a rocker power switch and IEC socket. Fairly, well, relatively simple in presentational terms. The front also features what looks like a rotary volume knob and a source selector, and a rather fetching LED output window. Gives it a bit of a retro feel. The price isn't retro though. The price is rather high at £19,000. And that's your lot, folks. Thanks for staying to the end of this particular video. Let me give you an answer to that trivia question. Here's the question one more time. Which band formed in New York in 1969 took their name from the title of a book published in 1925. Of that book, famous author D.H. Lawrence once described it as, quote, the best modern book about New York. The name of the band is The Manhattan Transfer. You remember them, vocal harmonies, chanson d'amour, all that kind of stuff, you know them. Well, this vocal group got their name from the John Dos Passos novel, I hope that's how you pronounce his name, apologies if not, of the same title. The book, The Manhattan Transfer, was hailed back then in 1925 as one of the first books to successfully reflect the experience of living in New York in the 1920s, at a time when its population was exploding. So now you know, and as I say, must admit, I learned something from this particular one because I don't think I would have got it, to be absolutely honest. And it's interesting to know. It's interesting to know where band names come from. Sometimes it's a late night Friday session down the pub, probably more often than not, hey. But in this case, it sounds like they put a bit of thought into the band name, which is nice. I appreciate that. Anyway, there you go, folks. Thank you very much for staying to the end of this particular video. There will be another one of these. Not next week, because I've got stuff to do, things to address, stuff to sort out. So, won't be next week, be the week after, and I'll be back with another one of these again, and another trivia question. I hope to have your, company. Can't think of the word. That trivia question has just befuddled my brain. So I hope to have your company then. Take care of yourself while I'm off doing stuff. Until then, folks, bye-bye for now.